is more about risk mitigation, right? It's we need a law in place in case of all the worst things happening, and we need things to be in place for all the worst things that could go down. And somehow our society and our economy has morphed into um, a perfect example of this. I saw a comment today on the impending student loan forgiveness challenge that's probably
Hmm.
out here soon. And someone wrote at the bottom, they said, "What about me? I paid off my student loans. Why should I have to pay for somebody else that went to school?" And then somebody under that said, "What about me? I didn't even go to college. Why should I have to pay for those that chose to go to college and accumulate debt?" And I would say this to those people, this is the problem within our society, because you believe that this would be the first instance of you paying for something that did not benefit you.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
instead, you've been paying for farm subsidies, you've been paying for telecom subsidies, you've been paying
Exactly.
for all these taxation things that you don't even know about, but somehow marketing has led you to believe that the $1 trillion that it's going to take to get rid of student loan debt, right? That could potentially be beneficial to the economy or it could hurt it. We don't know. But also, that's your first time of ever doing something outside of yourself. But it's also convinced you that the America that was founded on the principles that we should be here for each other as a brotherhood, as a commonality of nations, that's not in the best interest of you. The liberty is being defeated by you
I
looking
would
out.
I would argue that version of America never existed. But to take it a step further to your point, when you're talking about the student loan debt conversation, traditionally what you have in this argument is somebody that's older arguing that they paid off their debt from
Right.
college versus somebody that's younger who now has debt. But what we don't, and what they choose not to factor into this conversation, was the cost of college versus the cost of the cost of college today versus the cost of college yesterday, but also the value of the job you got out of college in their time versus the value of the
Right.
job that you got now. So if you graduated from college back then and had $3,000 of student loan debt, you were also making a wage that allowed you to pay off that debt because all of the other things around you, house, car, whatever, the other bills that you accumulated as an adult were also at scale.
Right.
Whereas now, the things that you walk out with as a college student, in addition to debt, are not at scale, nor
Right.
has pay increased or kept up with with how much life costs. So our
Right.
pay as a society has stayed relatively stagnant while inflation and the cost of goods and services has been on a ever increasing trajectory. And if we really wanted to have a real conversation around what would it take to, one, decrease student loan debt but also increase how much we're taking home as a society, is we would have a real conversation about how do we increase the pay scale, and really tie it to inflation.